Hey there, I'm Ben Mankiewicz. Thanks for joining us on TCM. We're marking a couple of anniversaries tonight with a pair of seminal American films celebrating milestones this year. One premiered 80 years ago. That's The Postman Always Rings Twice from 1946, which we'll have in a couple of hours. The other came 10 years later, making this its 70th anniversary. From Warner Brothers, 1956, directed by John Ford, John Wayne leads the way in The Searchers. John Ford made a number of memorable Westerns. I imagine if you polled Ford fans, if you polled Western fans, if you polled classic movie fans, The Searchers would come in at number one. Ford, who earned 4 Academy Awards for Best Director, the most of any filmmaker, did not earn a single one of those Oscars for a Western, a genre he largely defined in the 20th century. While Ford was making one nuanced Western after another, Stagecoach, My Darling Clementine, She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, Fort Apache, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance among them, Hollywood didn't really think of Westerns as serious movies. Given that, it's not terribly surprising that John Ford was not even nominated for The Searchers. In fact, the film didn't receive any attention from the Academy. The Searchers stars John Wayne, Ford's longtime friend, frequent collaborator, in probably his most complex performance. Wayne plays a man who's tough to root for, Ethan Edwards. He is abrupt, he is emotionally withdrawn, and he displays a degree of racism toward Native Americans that's notable even for the era when Native Americans were regularly cast as the bad guys in Westerns. Significantly, though, The Searchers is also a bit of enlightened filmmaking for the time, displaying a depth of humanity toward its Native American characters. Ethan's racism and rage, they're designed to make you feel uncomfortable as he pursues his niece, who's been kidnapped by a Comanche raiding party. John Ford's technical mastery of filmmaking is on full display in The Searchers. There is not a wasted shot in the picture. The shot introducing Ethan and the final shot of him at the end of the film are still being studied in film schools. John Ford shot much of the picture at his favorite location, Monument Valley, near the Arizona-Utah border, with cinematography by Winton Hoke in VistaVision. Here's the film from 1956, also with Ward Bond, Ken Curtis, and Harry Carey Jr., all part of Ford's stock company, as well as Jeffrey Hunter, Vera Miles, and Natalie Wood. The Searchers. Among the many storylines worth thinking about in The Searchers is brothers at odds with each other. I mean, it's pretty clear that Ethan and his brother love the same woman. Somewhat fittingly, the film came at a particularly tense moment in the history of Warner Brothers. By the mid-1950s, relations between studio heads Harry Warner and Jack Warner, the oldest and youngest of the 4 founding brothers, had soured to such an extent that Harry and Jack were barely speaking to each other. Their other surviving brother, Albert, was eager to retire and was worried that if they waited too long to sell the company, the stock would depreciate. There was just one catch. None of them could legally sell their shares unless the others did too. So Jack Warner, the youngest brother, found an offer they couldn't refuse. A banker friend of Jack's got a group of investors to pay $22 million for their combined shares of Warner Brothers stock. They agreed to sell. They signed the deal in 1956, 2 months after The Searchers premiered. But Jack, it turns out, made a side deal that he didn't tell his brothers about. In the movies, we'd call that a double cross. Jack made his own separate deal to buy the stock right back, making him the single largest shareholder in the company, meaning he could finally run the company without his brothers, and he'd have the free reign he had long wanted. Coming up, our night of movie release milestones continues with a brilliant film noir celebrating its 80th anniversary. Lana Turner and John Garfield star in The Postman Always Rings Twice. Next on TCM.
Next on TCM, The Postman Always Rings Twice. Then A Silent Sunday with Charlie Chase. And later, Anna and the Wolves. My, what big classics we have tonight.